Hello everyone, and well, we've gotten more news from KayWhy about the intercepted transmission, which he has now made public. Check out the link below for that. I also did a video pinned in the description box too, going over what the video had, the puzzle he had created, the information stored on there, and what conclusions I've reached. This is going to be a short update type of video, nothing too big. So if you want to get more context, please click on the video in the description below. It will give you all the background details, as well as my general analysis of what has been revealed so far. So again, this video right here is nothing too big, but it is an update video, and it does have some details I do want to go over, and some additional speculation, which I thought would be pretty fun to do. Also, yes, project story videos are coming. I just need to drop the designs, record my voice lines, edit the video, blah blah blah. You kind of know the drill here. So yes, they are coming. Just be patient. I can only do one video at a time. Anyways, let's get into the meat of the situation, shall we? So just this morning, which is Saturday the 18th, KayWhy dropped a post on the Discord server, and what he had to say gives us a lot of food for thought. Remember how I compiled the videos on Volkov and Umpqua into a convenient playlist? It didn't take long for you folks to notice that buried in there was an intercepted transmission, complete with a puzzle to solve. I left it as is for a week to get discussion going, and discuss you have. You guys have noticed pretty much all of the critical elements and managed to successfully decode a few clues. Special shout out to CRYPTOS-GENICS, my channel, and his video breaking down his findings. While not all of it is accurate, some things are spot on. In fact, I'll go ahead and say that the phrase square root Roman, the first clue to be decoded, is 100% correct. I'll be making the video public in just a moment, and I encourage you to start spreading the word around. If you're active in other hybrid spaces, I encourage you to do the same. This transmission contains some clues to elements of the upcoming hybrid ops, though I wouldn't worry if it's not fully decoded by the time that it starts. If nothing else, all will be revealed when the time is right. But as a nudge in the right direction, our intel team has this advice to offer. Think outside the box, and don't assume that the clues are isolated from one another. The existence of a cipher can't be ruled out. So it's pretty safe to say that although I and my fictional hybrid organization didn't get everything right, we got a few things down pat. But as well, I also want to make a few addendums. First off, the square root Roman code. It was somewhat obvious looking back at it all what the intention was. KayWhy did say hybrid ops will be a series of challenges, and in ancient Roman times, that meant a sequence of fights for the warriors, often getting more difficult than the previous one. So I expect that the big boss will definitely challenge us in more ways than just raw strength when it comes to hybrid making. Secondly, it looks like we may have gotten the locations more or less correct based on what KayWhy has indicated. In case you forgot, we pretty much, through research, deep diving, and multi-checking the data, that it will take place possibly either near the coast of Oregon, either in the mountains or forests of Tillamook County, or the Umpqua River Basin. Looking back at the previous video's conclusions, it really doesn't make a lot of sense for the Umpqua River to be a hybrid testing site -- lab -- classified site that would be better suited for the forests and mountains, but it could well be the scene of the first challenge. That still leaves out the Tillamook County element, however. Unless we're meant to make a hybrid meant to navigate, negotiate, and battle in said environment, I'm still leaning to a more boreal forest-made hybrid, or even perhaps a flying creature, given how mountainous the terrain is. Unless we're proven wrong, we're keeping this on tap for now. That said, there is a possible alternative set of coordinates we'll get to later. As an adjunct, this is also somewhat hinted at the types of hybrids KayWhy has made before. See, he did previous two hybrids. Volkov, a Carcharodontosaurid hybrid made for jungle, stealth, ambush, and executions, and Umpqua, a surprise attack-based hybrid made for denser, less open environmental sectors in the ocean. So we have a jungle hybrid and an ocean hybrid, more or less. My next train of thought was, what hybrids hasn't he done based on the types of terrains that are available. Obviously a great many of them, but one of them, upon closer thinking, was in fact a boreal forest. And let's not forget what KayWhy told us. Think outside the box, don't assume that all these clues are isolated from each other. I'm starting to think that that extends to the playlist as a whole, but that there are also clues in the other videos too. In that the terrain order itself, Volkov equals jungle, Akula for dense ocean habitats, might give us an avenue on where to speculate where things might go from there. But again, that's all up in the air for now. Thirdly, I also spoke with the voice actor for Boss X, Flame Wheel. Go check out his YouTube channel, linked below. And he told me I had the accent all wrong. It was meant to be Eastern European, more along Russian lines, not French. So apologies, I take the L. I was greatly mistaken. But that in itself leads to a whole other can of worms and areas to investigate. The VA also didn't tell me a whole lot, but he hinted that Boss X is going to play a much bigger role than what the viewers might expect. So we'll keep that bookmarked for now. As an addition, it is all but confirmed at this point that yes, Mr. SC is the one who contacted KayWhy for the offer which led to the development of Volkov in-universe. But that isn't all about Mr. Simiacheirus, though. Said voice actor and I were talking about Mr. SC and the Simiacheirus revelation, and he brought up how the name might be a play on monkey's paw and have a deeper thematic element to it. Here's what he brought up during just before our audio discussion in the Discord server. Simiacheirus being monkey's hand in Latin, and they're receiving a deal from this rather strapping boss with classy taste, I might add, seems like it is a play of a monkey's paw deal. So this deal might actually have more intricate details than we might imagine. KayWhy is a massive fan of phasmophobia, and when you take the monkey's paw cursed object and say I wish for knowledge, it causes a cursed hunt. The word's kind of hunt, but unlocks a forbidden knowledge about what the ghost is you're chasing. It sounds to me that Mr. SC runs a CIGINT signal intelligence system that's encrypted to hell and back, not leaving anything to chance when information escapes to a wider system, but also uses this gathering of intel so he always has the upper hand on just about everything and anything. Though due to him also apparently having been present at the other party at Goji Center's event in Nubar hosted by Goji Industries, I'm also led to believe he also utilizes or sees the benefit of HUMINT, human intelligence as well, and that his contacts are just a couple more steps in making sure all intel he corrupts it with is as fresh as the day it is picked. He also has a lot of C2W, command and control warfare elements at play here, which only just started being more cherished by major militaries around the world by the turn of the century when the Cold War was doing its best to make sure info via electronics were the worst ideas you could do, versus a perfectly good room with a few trusted figures, and checked with a fine-tooth comb that there's no bugs or taps. Something likely the boss who received the call forgot to check, hence how the Kilo Yankees managed to intercept the transmission in the first place. So, this is all very intriguing indeed. If you want, the link to KayWhy's Discord is in the transmission video link below, just check the description. With this, it's also very possible that Simiacheirus could be both literal and metaphorical in nature, making a deal with the devil kind of thing, getting modified in the process, but sacrificing a part of himself or his humanity in order to do the job well. This could either be a biological modification of sorts, either through some kind of genetic splicing or through some serum. I don't think he's a hybrid, really, or else why would he be able to speak with the people just fine at a gala? Lastly, the VA brought up something interesting. Even though square root was an Arabic invention and that Greece and Rome were scientific philosophically oriented at the time, he did bring up an alternative coordinate set in opposition to ours. Here is what he said as follows. If we trace back the year we chronologically say Romans were around, something like 23 BC, we get 5.1961524227 if we take the fall of the Romans when they were unified. We get 19.874606911144. I don't know if these numbers can then be plotted into coordinates to help plot a place, but we also then have the Western Romans 19.8746069144 start and 21.99089023002 at their end. Eastern Roman, the Byzantines, also started at 19.8746069144, but lasted a while longer, ending around 38.1182371051. So there's potentially 3 more numbers for you to mess around with, just by going by square rooting the Roman dates from Unified, Western, and Eastern. Using those coordinates, and I am very sorry for that clunky at points read, the way he wrote it out kind of tripped me up at some points. Other coordinates possibly show up. Using those coordinates, other coordinates show up. If we do the following, for instance, going off what Flamewheel said, we'll get northern Chad and Africa. The coordinates in the area are shown above. The next set takes us to the Red Sea, and the final set, nothing confirmed here at all, takes place in the same spot again. So if not the Pacific Northwest of North America, they might well take place in the Red Sea or in northern Africa. This changes our hybrid ops predictions by a fair bit, in that we could be dealing with a desert type hybrid or another marine hybrid, but it is something to keep in mind nonetheless. So the long and the short of this story is that we may have answered a few questions, but I am very excited to see where this goes. Either way, answers are still out of reach, but at the same time, the plot thickens, and I am definitely happy to be in for the ride. Just an update before we go. I'm going to be starting the first Project Sawyer video this Monday, and that will be both Project Vast and Project Husk, respectively. I think you'll like them a lot. Trust me, these are not going to be Hank-type videos. Thank you so much for watching this. Your support goes a very long way indeed. If you're new here, please subscribe, like, and comment. Also check out KayWhy's videos and the transmission video, again linked in the description below. He said that he wants a lot more people to get involved with the hybrid ops and analyzing this transmission video. There's a link to his Discord if you're so interested, again in his video below. And let's just say that he has a lot of hybrid stuff there and on the way. So if you could jump in or support him in that way or any way you can, he would greatly appreciate it. Until then, keep making hybrids responsibly.